Russian dictator Vladimir Putin is deliberately and purposefully choosing war over peace. And this is not an emotional decision, nor even a temporary tactic. For the Kremlin leader, war has long become a key tool for maintaining personal power, controlling society, and preventing the entire Russian political system from collapsing. In the current circumstances, peace poses a much greater risk for Putin than continuing the hostilities, even despite the enormous losses.
And you can find more details in our report. You are watching the Glavred channel, and I am your host, Yevhen Serov. Please like and subscribe to the channel.
Putin sees war not only as an external conflict, but also as a mechanism for internal governance. Under sanctions, economic pressure, the degradation of the social sphere, and a declining standard of living, war allows the Kremlin to maintain a mobilized society, justify repression and strict control, and suppress any signs of dissent. For a dictator, war is a way to explain failures in domestic policy by pointing to an external threat and to preserve the image of a fortress under siege. The fear of personal responsibility also plays a separate role. For Putin, peace without achieving the declared goals would mean not just a political defeat, but the collapse of his myth as a strong leader. Any freezing of the conflict or retreat without a clear victory automatically raises the question: what was the point of the hundreds of thousands killed, the ruined economy, and international isolation? The answer to this question is deadly dangerous for the regime itself. That is why the dictator sees compromise not as a path to stability, but as an existential threat to his own power. In the Kremlin's logic, peace is only possible on terms that can be presented as a victory or, at the very least, as imposing their will on the West. Anything else carries the risk of internal upheaval, elite conflicts, and loss of control over a system built on fear and violence. It is also important to note that the war has become the economic foundation of the regime. The military-industrial complex, security agencies, controlled corporations, and certain oligarchic clans are directly interested in the continuation of hostilities. The war ensures budget flows, redistribution of resources, and enrichment of a narrow circle of people close to Putin. Peace, on the contrary, would require an audit, spending cuts, and accountability for large-scale corruption. In addition, Putin continues to be guided by ideological logic. He does not see Ukraine as a sovereign state and considers the war a historic mission to restore Russia's influence. This makes the conflict a matter of principle and complicates any negotiations, since it is not only about territories, but also about the dictator's personal beliefs regarding his role in history. Analysts also note that Putin is deliberately betting on the West's fatigue. According to his calculations, a protracted war should split Ukraine's allies, weaken the political will of democratic countries, and ultimately force them to seek compromises at any cost. That is why the Kremlin pretends to be ready for negotiations while simultaneously continuing offensive actions and strikes, using diplomacy as a tool to buy time. In this logic, for Putin, war is a game of attrition, where the main bet is not on a quick victory, but on the long-term survival of the regime. He is willing to sacrifice the economy, demographics, and the country's future if it allows him to hold on to power today. That is why any talk of a quick peace without a fundamental change in the Kremlin's and its dictator's position seems illusory. For Putin, war is not a tragedy, it's a tool. And as long as this logic remains unchanged, he will continue to choose war, even if the cost for Russia itself keeps rising with each passing month. The situation remains extremely dangerous because a war built on the fear of losing power has no natural stopping point. And this means that the key question today is not when Putin will want peace, but what exactly will deprive him of the ability to continue the war.